All right. Welcome, guys. Good afternoon. Coach Anna here. I am joined by my friend, Coach Suzanne. We are so glad that you guys have decided to take a few moments today to spend some time with us. And today, as part of our health education series through the holidays, we are bringing you fitness and joint health. So, fitness and joint health. Suzanne and I have had the pleasure of working with athletes and um, and people of all ages and all activity levels. And so joints are important, right? And I hear people say all the time how they feel like they have achy joints or they've lost range of motion through the years, and how it can be challenging to just do normal functions like just get out of bed and walk upstairs. So today we want to talk to you about joint health. And Suzanne, I'm having a little bit of trouble getting the controls on
Yes.
those.
Hold on, let me stop share and share again and request. I don't know what happened. I saw my screen isn't as big as it normally is either, but that's okay. All right, go ahead and request screen share again, Anna.
We do a lot of these Zooms, and sometimes
All the
we have some
time.
technical challenges. We just roll right through it. So fitness and joint health. And I am still having trouble with my
That's
screen.
okay. Yeah, it says waiting for you. So click or try your arrows maybe. I don't know what's, there we go. You got it. One more.
Right.
Click again or arrow again. It says you've got control. Sorry, guys. All good.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, I'm clicking.
There we go.
It's not wanting to click. There we go. So we just want to let you guys know as we get started, we are going to get on the right screen. So talking about joint health today. Now, these statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. We simply are sharing with you our strengths and our experiences through the years and what we have learned working with athletes and people of all different ages, shapes, and sizes. And one of the things that is going to help you have a longer, more happy, healthy life is movement. So exercise and what that means to you is going to be different than what that's going to mean to myself or Suzanne or your neighbor. But movement and having proper movement and proper exercise, we want to make sure to keep our joints healthy. So the benefits of exercise, I know you guys all know this, but it helps you to maintain your muscle mass, which is what protects your bones and your organs. It supports your cardiovascular, lymphatic, and immune and circulatory health, reduces stress, burns fat, improves your mood, increases your energy. And it helps you to maintain proper posture, because I know you guys see a lot as some people as they age, they have that arch, that humpback. So it helps to exercise helps to improve your posture as well, and helps with the anti-aging effects. It helps to boost metabolism, as we all know. And so fitness, how do we fit it in? I work with a lot of clients that they're able to get up a few minutes earlier in the morning and get in their exercise. Some people, they wait until later in the evening, but wherever you can fit it in. But of course, you want to make sure that you have healthy joints so that you feel good in that exercise. And the different types of exercise that we're going to talk about, obviously cardiovascular exercise or aerobic activity, and that's running, walking, spinning classes, dancing, Zumba, the elliptical, things that get your heart rate up, and resistance training. So weight training, which is very important so that you can maintain that lean muscle mass and movement and strength throughout your life. And whether you use free weights bands or you exercise with machines or your body weight, it's all necessary to build that lean muscle. And stretching and flexibility too. If you don't use it, you lose it, but you can always get it back if you do increase just basic stretching. It helps to increase that flexibility and your range of motion. So all the body's tissues are connected. Therefore, it's important to engage in proper stretching.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. And so, are you a beginner? Yay! You've taken the steps to start taking care of you by hopping on this Zoom. And if you're just beginning, start where you're at. We all had to start somewhere. Start where you're at and find activity that you enjoy. Just because you saw somebody on TV who likes to run marathons and you think that looks cool, but you don't like to run, that doesn't mean that's your activity. So find things that you enjoy, especially in the beginning, because it's going to help you to make it a habit, make it something consistent in your life when it's something you enjoy. Find a friend or a workout buddy to keep you motivated. Suzanne and I have lots of friends and workout buddies. We've had the pleasure of being able to work with thousands of people all over the world on their activity, their health, their wellness. And there are workout guides on our tlsslim.com website. We have resources on that website and go to fitness. So there's all kinds of activities and resources on the TLS Slim site. I actually was with a client this morning, Suzanne, and she's beginning her activity again. And so we wanted to start with something fun, something easier to do in the morning because we're incorporating something new. And we were able to work out together just a few moments. And I encourage her, as I do people on the Holiday Hacks page, to use YouTube. Go look up videos that you can do safely at home, right? Yeah. So are you a fitness fanatic or do you want to be? So we have weekly recommendations, right? So 2 hours and 30 minutes a week of moderate intensity aerobic activity, like brisk walking, just moving a little faster than you do in your everyday life. An hour and 15 minutes of vigorous intensity aerobic activity, like jogging or running, dancing. Muscle strengthening activities on 2 or more days a week that work all major muscle groups, your legs, your hips, your back, your abdomen, your chest, your shoulders, and your arms, all major muscle groups. We want to keep it balanced here. So an example would be 25-minute walk 6 days a week, 25-minute run 3 days a week, and 3 days of weight training a week. And that can be done again at home with bands. If you go to the gym, you can use the machines and the equipment there. So did you know that a joint is a movable connection between two bones? And now it's not what you might typically think of as just a joint. It's not just two parts. It's not just the ball and socket. So it's a symphony of cartilage, synovial membrane, ligaments, tendons, synovial fluid, meniscus. So it's all these moving parts. It's not just one thing. And we want to make sure that we're keeping all those moving parts healthy by making sure that we're getting in proper movement, that we're supplementing right for our activity and our lifestyle. So understanding bone and joint health. So bones, muscles, and ligaments and tendons all work together, like I said, like a symphony, so that we can bend, we can twist, we can stretch and move about easily. And the bones are covered in a thin layer of smooth tissue called cartilage. And that cartilage acts like a slippery cushion that helps your joint to move smoothly. And around most of your joints is a joint capsule. And inside that capsule is a thick fluid which nourishes and lubricates your joint, like an oil for a squeaky hinge. So we want to make sure that your joints have buoyancy, so it's not bone on bone. And we do that again through our diet, through proper supplementation, through movements. And the ligaments that hold the joint together by joining the bone to one another, your muscles are attached to the bones by the tendons. As your muscles contract, they pull on the bones to make the joint move. So around most of your joints would be the capsule, and inside the capsule is the fluid. So as we've worked with some of our mature clients, we've noticed that a lot of them say that with age, they have decreased flexibility, decreased range of motion, and decreased strength over time because they're finding that they're having more joint pain. And you know, our bodies are our hips, for instance, it is a ball and socket. Our hips are designed to help us move and bend over and to be able to touch your toes any age, any day. And so we lose that over time if we're not taking care of our joints or our body properly. And so the body's natural shock absorbers are wearing out, which means you begin to feel more of the physical toll on your body that it's experiencing from the wear and tear of just everyday life through the years. And you may feel joint stiffness in the morning or have aches and pains in some joints that bothered you before. And one of the best things that you can do, and I highly encourage this with everybody, is when you roll out of bed in the morning, or maybe before you even roll out of bed, laying in bed still, to just start moving, to get motion in that body and the joints and those ligaments, to just get basic movement in the morning. You've been laying still all night long, or if you're one that maybe you have a desk job and you're sitting in front of the computer all day, so your body is contracted and stiff, and you want to lengthen it back out so that you can increase or at least keep your range of motion. And you may feel that joint stiffness in the morning. So again, the morning's one of the best times for you to start moving, is the best time for you to start moving, really. And the joint may even become sensitive to the touch when there's a lot of pain and inflammation. And that is something that we can decrease or even avoid or overcome.
I think it's important to note too, Anna, and to add to what you've already said, that, as we begin to age, we don't need to think about, continuing or starting CrossFit at an older age, right? We just want to do that movement, as you've mentioned. So we want that natural joint lubrication and flexibility. So in addition to movement, we also want to think about antioxidants, omega-3 fatty acids, everything that we can get from nature, right? And so that's how we create that fluid buoyancy that you were speaking about. So we can lift and bend and twist, and we want to do that regularly. So when we're thinking about age-related exercise or joint complaints, as you've mentioned, we want to think about increasing our strength and increasing our flexibility. We want to put like that bounce in our step, right? We want to stay vibrant. We want to stay young, no matter what age we are. So we want to keep that bounce. So whether we're thinking about that loss of joint space, maybe in your spine, right? Some people have back issues, or maybe your hips or knees. I know what we use our hips and knees, like that's our central point for rotation, right? Or maybe you've been carrying kids on your hips for a long, long times, right? So we want to stand up straight. You mentioned that hunching over, whether it's the phone or the computer or driving or just poor posture. I notice a lot of times people say it's easier. I was a teacher for 11 years and I would tell my kids sit up and they're like, oh, but it doesn't feel good. Well, that's because you don't have strong muscles. You let your muscles die down. So strengthening the core and the back, those are going to help support your posture. So you do want to sit up straight. In addition to that too, I work with chiropractors, and this affects our central nervous system and the stimulus that we get. So our spine, we want to keep it nice and long, and we want to have everything around it nice and strong and supportive. So whether it's due to age or physical stress on the body, maybe you're an athlete, an elite athlete, or maybe you've always been into fitness, but we want to focus on two aspects of joint health. We want to think about antioxidants for the body, and they can help us in the recovery from injury. They can help us with the physical or metabolic stress on the joints. And I just noticed that people tend to, you probably notice this too, I noticed that people tend to overtrain. Maybe they're working out super duper heavy in the gym, thinking that's going to get them results. Or maybe they work out long durations, 2 hours, which we don't need more than an hour in the gym typically. Unless you're training for, a super marathon or something. But even in addition to not just going heavy or doing 2 hours in the gym, some people train every day, 7 days a week. We need rest, we need repair, we need recovery. And so we need to make sure you'll want to think about giving yourself time to rest and recover. So if you have age-related joint issues, or, you can just think about getting a little from your nutrition. That's the foundation of everything we teach, is nutrients, because that's what our body thrives off of. That's why we eat. We're supposed to eat nutrient-dense foods so that our body can function just as it was designed. So just as the treads on your tires, they wear away over time. Anna spoke about the shock system in our car. The car is a perfect example because it takes that beating just like our body does, right? So we have some decay in our joint space. Unfortunately, with age, brain declines, hyaluronic acid declines, everything, digestive enzymes, things start to decline in our body. So here's where you want to think about having a higher commitment to supplementation that can open up that space and give you more buoyancy and lubrication and less inflammation. Inflammation is pain, and we don't want that. So everything that you need can be found in nature. Okay, so let's take a look at some factors that can help you determine if you're the right person for joint support, right? What do you need to live a vibrant life full of longevity? So either because, again, of physical fitness or of age, or maybe of both, right? Do you experience joint pains? Or as Anna mentioned, maybe they're tender to the touch, right? We need to pay attention to repair. And that's why nutrients are so important. Maybe it takes you a while to get moving in the morning. That's perfect, Anna, even in bed still, right? Mm-hmm. Stretch and elongate your body, right? Are you that person that's saying like, oh my gosh, I can't get out of bed, or getting up off the couch after watching TV? Actually, being sedentary is a contributor to poor joint health. So you do want to get moving. You're not getting old. You might be getting old, but age is a number, but you have control over the quality of the life that you're living. So what if, we want to get into a deep squat, right? I know you've all seen 20-year-olds get into a deep squat and you've seen 80-year-olds get into a deep squat. But if I ask you to stand up straight and bend forward and touch your toes, I know many people my age and younger than me in their 20s that cannot touch their toes. So we're losing that flexibility. And as I mentioned, the lack of movement is one contributor to that, plus the age decline, plus maybe injuries that you've had just working out in a gym or running. I know a lot of runners experience joint pain over time. So you can still be flexible. You just need to bring that back, right? Let's see. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, well, and you're right. You just want to be able to be flexible, and you can bring that back. And number 6, a lot of people say, well, I'm overweight, so I'm carrying too much weight, and so my joints hurt. Well, our bodies are designed to carry a certain amount of weight, and when you are carrying more than your body's designed, there is some discomfort, some pain, and of course, then you're going to reduce your range of motion again. And so again, going back to exercise or movement and just meeting yourself with where you're at, but there are things that we can do to decrease that body mass or that body fat so that you are carrying around the healthy amount of weight. And at the same time, you're also increasing some of the movement that's proper for you so that you are keeping that joint healthy and strong. And maybe your work has impacted your joints. If you are a laborer, you're on your feet all day, or you are you're moving heavy things around. So if your job might be something that causes some joint discomfort. I work a lot with athletes, right? So their job, professional athletes, can cause injuries, football, hockey, and so their job can cause an impact on their joints. Maybe you've participated in high impact exercise. So maybe you are a CrossFitter. Or maybe you are going to the Rugged Maniac, and so you do participate in high intensity exercise, or different types of Taekwondo, whatever it is. But those high intensity exercise groups can also have joint discomfort. If you have a history of joint injury, and so many of us do, it's really important that you really make sure to take care of your joints. And there are things that you can do, like we said, with movement, with proper diet, with proper supplementation. Your parents had bad joints. I know this is something that we hear a lot, right? Oh, it just runs in my family. Not too many things do run in your family, but joint pain shouldn't be one of them. And really taking care of your joints through your everyday, through movement, proper movement for you, through your exercise, sleeping well, supplementation, nutrition, then it's not going to be running in your family anymore.
Those are great points, Anna. All too often, I think we assume that joint pain is just a normal part of aging, and we have to learn to deal with that, but nothing's further from the truth. So, pain can affect every aspect of your life, and we have a full life to live. So,
yeah. So factors that do aid in decreased bone and joint health. So as we just discussed, increase in age. So the older that you get and the less that we're moving, if we're not taking care of our bodies, then that can be a factor in decreasing bone and joint health. Excessive weight, as we said, carrying around more weight than your body really should. It's putting more strain on the joints, on the whole body. Genetics, injury, and overuse. Not giving your body all the proper nutrients that it needs to recover, or the rest that it might need to recover, or the supplementation nutrients that it might need to recover. Having a very physically demanding occupation, again, those are all things that are factors that aid in decreased bone and joint health. And so joint space and degradation can affect many areas of the body. Now, we often hear about back pain, and that's something I'm all too familiar with. Because we are moving and lifting and bending over. And a lot of us have had injuries through the years, whether that's with sports or automobile accidents or whatnot. We hear a lot about back pain. And what about neck, shoulders, hips, ankles, and feet? When your back, your spine, when you've injured a joint above, it can affect everything below. If you've injured something below, it can affect everything above the middle of your back. So keeping your joints healthy, it's more than just your back, more than just your spine. It's all of your joints. And these are areas that can affect your body. So what can you do to feel better, to have healthier joints? There's many things that we could do. So taking care of your joints, one, warm up. Don't just try to go out there and do what you did when you were 20 years old. Warm your body up. Even if you are 20 years old, you should be warming that body up. So keep it running smoothly. And for optimal joint health, it's important to warm up. Exercise, again, meeting yourself where you're at today. You don't need to do too much too soon, but you got to do it. Just move. So exercise can help lose those extra pounds. Who doesn't want that? And help maintain a healthy weight and healthy movement, functional movement. So it builds muscles to support joints. So exercise to build muscles. Strong muscles help support your joints, right? Like Suzanne was saying, sitting upright, having the muscular strength to sit upright, to be able to climb stairs, get up and down off of the sofa. So if you don't have enough muscle, your joints take a pounding. We all know this. And especially your spine, your hips, your knees, which support your entire body weight. And weight training exercises help build muscle and keep your muscles and surrounding ligaments strong. That way your joints don't have to do all the work. And this is really important when your body is working synergistically as a symphony. It's all working together because you're strong from the exercise. You're healthy from the way that you're eating and sleeping and supplementing, and you're keeping your joints fluid and buoyant.
I love all of that. And, I think oftentimes too, when we're speaking about muscles, as you just did, we think about, looking sexy or having a six pack or being beach ready, but you describe the beautiful complexity of our body and what surrounds the joints. And if we don't have muscles, we are going to fall over, right? So it's not just about looking good, it's about feeling good and living a great life. So we want to take care of ourselves, be good to your joints, be good to yourself. Getting a massage can lower the tension, can increase the flow, of blood and fluid in our joints and in our body. See a chiropractor. When we're adjusted and we're in an alignment, the body can then naturally heal itself. I just love being close to nature. So if you need a chiropractor, you can find one in our free coaching group. We'll give you the link to that at the end. We've talked about eating right. If you've been on any of our wellness events, we talk, about food being first. So again, you're welcome to go back and find any of those in our group. Just let us know what you're looking for. But we want to think about eating a low glycemic impact diet or, a low inflammatory diet. So full of vegetables and nutrients, antioxidants. We want to get enough magnesium and fiber to help our body. We want to get enough protein for your age, your gender, your fitness level, and your genetics. And we should also talk about supplementation, such as glucosamine. So a prime joint is absolutely the prescription that you want for achieving quality joint health, flexibility, lubrication. The Isotonics formula is great because there's no binders, no dyes, no fillers in this supplementation, and it's up to 95% bioavailable, which means it's just short of IV therapy. So you aren't what you eat, you are what you absorb. And in this case, eating is first and supplementation is next. So you do want to make sure you're absorbing this. This is truly a product for recovery as well as the functional side of fitness and joint health. So it starts with a glucosamine. Glucosamine is an amino acid. And we are going to replace what injury has taken away, or what lack of physical movement or function has taken away, or maybe age is taking things away and contributing to the decline of what we need. So glucosamine is going to help the natural and normal production of the synovial fluid. You can't take that, so you want to help your body create that synovial fluid around your joints for that lubrication. And glucosamine is not readily available by food. So it's not like you can just go out, unfortunately, and eat foods and get the glucosamine. So we want to give our body the nutrients it needs to create what it needs, right? So there's, again, beautiful complexity and all of that. So we're going to make sure our diet supports this. There's another superpower here that we are going to refer to as GAGs, as you see here. So this is a part of the glucosamine family, so to speak, and that's, again, going to help the synovial fluid. As our body age, we're less able to produce this, as mentioned. And so we also want to think about regenerating and supporting healthy cartilage in our joints as well. So the gags are going to lubricate the joint and the fluidity. And we want to create like a slippery joint, one that moves easily, right? So less aches and pains, but more fluid movement when you're bending or squatting or sitting or maybe even getting up, right? If you're feeling like a squeaky tin man, you know, you can't move as well. So we want to think about creating that. And if oxidative stress is high in your body, that's something that we want to think about lowering as well, because the joints become stiff when that happens. So glucosamine and pycnogenol together. Anna mentioned the word symphony, and I love that because you know, that's a beautiful blend of either lifestyle practices or nutrients in our food, because you don't just eat one nutrient when you eat a food, right? It's so full. And the same thing should be true of your supplements that you are taking. So glucosamine and pycnogenol together can help to arrest or to slow down the oxidative situations inside of your body that are affecting your joints. And pycnogenol is remarkable. It has potent antioxidant and anti-inflammatory benefits. And there's many clinical studies that have been shown that we can repair the joint health and the buildup of our joints. So pycnogenol is a water-soluble flavonoid. And again, the clinical studies have shown, I'm just trying to move our faces. The clinical studies have shown that we can lower the CRP. So the CRP is your markers of inflammation. So 72% reduction by taking pycnogenol can reduce the inflammation. And remember, I spoke about inflammation being pain inside of your body, especially when it's chronic and it's happening all the time. Maybe you have excess body fat or you have chronic injuries going on. And so it's also important for heart health too, not just to joint health. So we want you to know that the pycnogenol has the clinical evidence to support the reduction of the inflammation in your body. So I'm sorry, I'm having trouble seeing. Okay, and then the other end of our products, the other end of the pycnogenol here is not just lowering the inflammation, but reducing the source of pain in the joint. So there you see the COX is reduced by about 15%. So when we think about immune function, healthy aging, joint trauma, chronic inflammation, something that's constant, or you know, this is what ends up creating that COX factor, and we want to inhibit that response. So we want to support the joints and lower the joint pain that's associated. Would you agree? Right? That's what's going to keep you moving and enjoying life through your movements. And then the MMPs are associated with your the health of your cartilage. And unfortunately, those go up with age, and they also go up with injury. So Anna spoke about being, you know, possibly being injured, not just in the gym, but in car accidents or, you know, other life events. And so that starts to break down your tissue. It also goes up with a sedentary lifestyle. So we want that to go down. And so the use of the plant-based pycnogenol antioxidant can help, has been shown to lower that. Hyaluronic acid. I love hyaluronic acid. What do you think about when you hear hyaluronic acid? I think about skin health. And it's equally important, if not more important, actually, to joint health. So hyaluronic acid is unique to the Prime Joint Support Formula. It is present, the hyaluronic acid is present in every tissue in your body, and it's concentrated in the synovial fluid in your joints. We do find it in the fluids of our eyes and in our skin. Retention of water is one of the most important biological functions of hyaluronic acid. And so we want to lubricate, create that slippery joint movement there. We want to improve the function and the hydration, just like in your skin. So something else that's important is not just skin health or joint health, but hyaluronic acid plays a huge role in the anti-aging process. So if you want to look young and feel young and live a great life, you want to think about incorporating hyaluronic acid into your body. So when we think about the power of glucosamine and the power of pycnogenol paired with hyaluronic acid, you now have recovery, repair, and functional joints. So there's some products on the market too, because you're probably thinking like these three ingredients seem wonderful, but you may have heard of MSM in the market, right? And so why didn't we include that in the prime joint support formula? And that's because MSM is good for your joints, but you need about 6, 7, 8 grams to be beneficial. And so many products we know are just fairy dusted with MSM, meaning it has a lower content of MSM, and that's fine. But in that case, you would need to be committed to taking that supplement 3-4 times a day to get the recommended dose to actually feel and achieve benefits from taking that. Also, chondroitin. Why isn't chondroitin in our product? Well, chondroitin is a large molecule, and it's going to bind to glucosamine. And glucosamine is a small molecule. So if you have a large molecule binding to a smaller molecule, it's going to overpower that. And we know now the importance of the glucosamine in our joints and in our overall health. And so in order for the glucosamine to be absorbed and utilized by the body, it can't be inhibited by that larger molecule. And so we don't have chondroitin in our product. So another great question is, if prime joint support is so great, Anna, what does that mean for glucosatrin, which is another one of our amazing products that we've been using with athletes and just people with joint issues for some time?
Yeah, and I'm glad that you brought that up too, Suzanne. So with a lot of my athletes and myself and you included, and your husband as well, that glucosatrin is another solution because it provides nutritional support to the components of the skeletal system, so the bones and the joints. And whether that's been an injury from high impact sports or your job, or an injury, like we said, and just life and accidents, making sure that we're getting in those fluids that we need and keeping that joint buoyant. And so this glucosatrin that I know I love, all my athletes love, it has glucosamine, which, as we said, it's good for the cartilage. Vitamin D3 we know is really good for the bones, bone health. And vitamin C, which we need for that collagen, for the elasticity, right? So I really like the glucosatrin, but I also do pair that with the pycnogenol. That's really helped reduce the inflammation that was causing all the pain that myself and some of my clients, particularly athletes, were having, as well as in some of my more mature clients as well, who were losing that range of motion and flexibility through the aging process, and have been able to reduce that inflammation and reduce the pain and increase the range of motion so that they're able to live a healthier and more active life. So I like the glucosatrin combined with that pycnogenol and the prime joint support formula. And so what are the ingredients in the glucosatrin? Well, vitamin D. So we know that vitamin D supports the production of several proteins involved in calcium absorption and storage, which works with calcium to promote strong, hard bones. So keeping that bone density. And we know that vitamin C supports your body's ability to utilize these vitamins and minerals. And manganese, which supports the normal formation of cognitive tissues in the bones. And so glucosatrin adds that extra oomph, right? So it has natural botanicals to support, that do support. Those natural botanicals are boswellia resin, there we go, thank you. And they support normal mobility. Boswellia resin contains active boswellic acids, which have been shown to support healthy cartilage and joint. The sarsaparilla, I can never speak when we get on these Zooms. I practice them all day, and then
They're fancy, don't worry.
Yeah. Yes. So the rarea root, 3 bioactive flavonoids. So biocelin, and wogonet. I can't even do it when we get on the Zooms. Fun. They are fun to say. It's extracted from this. How do you say it, Suzanne?
Which I don't know. I don't know which word you're on.
We talk about them all the time, and I can't get them out of my mouth on the Zoom. But it's thought to contribute to the major activities of the plant, right? So all 3 of these flavonoids have been shown to support healthy joints, and they're all in the glucosatrin, which that one I can say. Oleanoic acid compound promotes healthy joints through its antioxidant potential and promotion of healthy collagen production. And of course, antioxidants fight oxidation, which is aging, the breakdown. And it has hops extract. So although hops significant value lies in its use for sleep aids, this herb has also been used to support blood flow and promote joint health. So glucosidone offers similar benefits to the prime support, joint support that Suzanne mentioned earlier that I love. That's an isotonic. So it's a powder, mix it with water, and it's 95% bioavailable, as she said, within the first few minutes. So I love that one because it immediately gets right into the bloodstream and starts working right away. But it also promotes retention and regeneration of cartilage, helps maintain joint comfort. You're not having so much joint discomfort, and you're able to move more freely, and supports normal 5-LOX and COX-2 levels. This promotes a normal inflammatory state rather than the imbalance of excessive inflammation. So again, inflammation is what leads to everything from pain to headaches. So we want to reduce that inflammation in the body. And the glucosidone extra has additional benefits for bone health, such as promoting skeletal health and helps maintain strong bones with the vitamin D and manganese. It helps regulate immune response to stimuli. So that's the vitamin C. We're all looking for a stronger immune system these days. Now, this is Cannabicol. Now, this is something that I really love. I know, Suzanne, I think that you use this a lot with your chiropractors as well. I use it with a lot of my chiropractors and a lot of my athletes. And so the Cannabicol, it's fast acting and it's long lasting formula, and it provides temporary relief from pain and itching. And it has a cooling formula to provide targeted relief. And it's child resistant packaging, which is great. And it rolls on clear, and it's a convenient roll on for easy no touch application, but it helps to reduce pain. For instance, like muscle pain, if you have an injury or after a workout, that Cannabicol really does help to decrease the pain topically. But we also want to make sure that we're helping not to have so much pain by increasing our movement to something that's appropriate for you, eating well, getting in your rest, getting in your movement for range of motion, and supplementing right? So keeping all your joints healthy.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So we do want to work on the inside out, but sometimes we do need that topical relief. So as you mentioned, after a workout, or maybe an ache or a pain on the outside of that body, this Cannabicol has alcohol in it, so it's going to open up the skin so that the lidocaine and the cannabinoids can get in there topically and reduce that pain while you're supporting good diet, good movement, and quality nutrients through supplementation from within. So, which of these might be right for you as far as joint health goes? Because you want to continue your movement, whether it's in the gym or just, going on hikes or walks or getting up off the couch, right? It depends. Everybody's at a different level. So that joint support formula, while we mentioned no binders, dyes, fillers, maximum absorption, you might be wondering, why would I use the glucosidone? Well, you might prefer more of a botanical blend. You might prefer tablets, right, that you can stick into your purse. Some people have trouble remembering to take the joint support formula on an empty stomach, preferably in the morning. So you could take both, as Anna mentioned, right? You're going to take your joint support in the morning, and then maybe you're taking your glucosidone in the evening. So you might just try both and see. They both have different price points too. So where do you see yourself getting started? And then of course the Cannabicol is a great topical. It's also good for like sunburns or rashes, itches. So the kids can use it too, although they can't access it because it has that child lock on there. So we're going to have more information, more links where you could click through, more reviews, ask more questions on these 3 products, or on a diet that's going to support healthy joint lubrication, flexibility, less inflammation, less aches and pains. We have a free holiday hacks coaching Facebook group. We're supporting everybody this time of year. So our link is there. And we're all going to follow up with you, everybody who is joining us on this webinar live or on demand. We're going to follow up with you, send you the link to our Facebook group, and answer any questions that you have, and see, how can we help you get started on feeling better through joint health, because that's essential to movement, right? Which is a daily activity. So thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you guys. Get your movement in. Have a great day.